We have a final clear to launch from the senior range officer on the Air Force side of the Cape, monitoring all functions. 5 seconds now from picking up the countdown. 3, 2, 1, mark. T-minus 9 minutes and counting.
Sequence has been initiated. Go ahead, LPS. Go ahead.
JRPS, start the APU press recorder. And LPS, place all fire room, SCRS.
Mission Control in Houston has now turned on the auxiliary data system at T-minus 8 minutes 30 seconds.
LPS, OTC. LPS, yes, place all fire room, SCRS. Prayer plotters online, place online.
T-minus 8 minutes 20 seconds and counting.
And MS1, panel R7, the DEMS recorder switch, start for 3 seconds, then down.
STM LPD 212, you said to go on 998.
MS1, that's complete. Copy. And flight, proceed with the transmissions of stored programs.
T-minus 8 minutes and counting. The orbiter test conductor Roger Gillette has requested that Houston send the stored program commands, which is the final update on antenna management based on the liftoff time. It also sets the system which makes the orbiter compatible with the downrange tracking stations.
Copy.
T-minus 7 minutes 40 seconds and counting. A few seconds now from retraction of the orbiter access arm.
LPD.
T-minus 7 minutes 30 seconds.
Let's go for OAA retract.
And we are go for orbiter access arm retract. Ground launch sequencer has now started retracting that access arm. That's the walkway that's used by the astronauts to climb into the vehicle. Should emergency require the re-extension of that arm, the arm can be put back in about 15 to 20 seconds. T-minus 7 minutes and counting. 7 minutes from the launch of Challenger in the Space Lab 3 mission.
ST would like to make a switch. ST?
Yes, we'd like the master console to switch the secondary EPC, FEP to hardline. And JRPS OTT, start the hydraulic flush recorders from the clock plate. RPS will.
T-minus 6 minutes 30 seconds and counting. T-minus 6 minutes and 15 seconds and counting. T-minus 6 minutes and counting. The orbiter test conductor has given pilot Gregory a go to perform the auxiliary power unit pre-start. Fred Gregory will configure the switches in the cockpit to put those APUs in the ready-to-start configuration.
Okay, can we get a confirmation from LPS that we've made that switch?
LPS?
T-minus 5 minutes 40 seconds.
Yeah, has the switch been made?
This is work. APU pre-start complete. Copy. And flight OTC transmit.
T-minus 5 minutes 30 seconds. Pilot Gregory reports that APU pre-start is complete.
STE, NTD. Go ahead. Should we hold the clock here at 5 till we get the switch made? No, it's back in the hurry. We may hold at 31 if we don't get it made. OTC Houston flight recorders are running. Copy.
Mission Control has transmitted the signal and the onboard flight recorders are running. T-minus 5 minutes 5 seconds and counting.
Yeah, let's go for orbiter AP start.
T-minus 5 minutes and counting. We have a go for APU start.
Our clock will hold at T-minus 4 minutes due to a failure.
Okay, we failed. This is SPE. We failed to get locks replenished. And video, reconfigure the heater. Locks verified. Still lost. Somebody replenish.
Identification, T-Lock?
This is SPE. We'll be holding at 4. Request to hold at 4.
And we have a request over the net to hold the countdown at T-minus 4 minutes. The reason for the hold is that the locks replenish. Termination was not accomplished. Lock strain back has not been started.
The EPC, FEP has been switched to LPS. LPS. Say again?
T-minus 4 minutes, 10 seconds.
Okay. Okay, LTD, this is STE. I feel like that switch came at the wrong time, and that's what gave us this whole...
T-minus 4 minutes and holding. We are holding at this point because of the failure to initiate locks drain back and locks replenish.
That's complete.
Workers are talking the situation over on the net.
Yeah, let's go.
Recommend you give me a term replenish, and 55 seconds later, pick up the count at T-minus 4.
We copy. TGLS LTD. Yeah, let's go. Yeah,
Repeating, we are holding at T-minus 4 minutes, and we have a recommendation from the locks console that the locks drain back be started manually from the console and that the countdown start 55 seconds after that. We'll stand by on when that countdown will start. Still holding at T-minus 4 minutes.
LTD, STE.
Go ahead.
Okay, we're going to resume.
Pilot Gregory reports that all three APUs are up and running. All indications normal.
3, 2, 1. Mark.
Replenish and work.
Copy. And GLS 55 seconds. 55 seconds, right?
That's correct.
Locks console reports that the locks replenish and drain back has been initiated. We're standing by to resume the countdown, and that will occur in about 30 seconds.
We'll call it for you.
Okay.
LTD, SRO, you still have a final clear to launch.
Thank you, SRO.
Reporting that we still have a final clear to launch when we resume the countdown.
Clock will resume on my mark. 3,
3, 2, 1. Mark. We are T-minus 4 minutes and counting.
4 minutes and counting. GLS go for sequence 4.
Flight crew, close your visors.
Flight crew has been ordered to close their visors. The count has resumed. We are counting at T-minus 3 minutes, 48 seconds and counting.
Visors closed. Copy.
Total time in that hold was about 2 minutes 30 seconds. We'll launch 2 minutes 30 seconds approximately after straight up noon. T-minus 3 minutes 30 seconds and counting.
LTD, STE. Go ahead. Okay, we have a go on the engine valves at 4 minutes.
Copy, thank you.
T-minus 3 minutes 15 seconds and counting. Next major event in the countdown will be at 2 minutes 30 seconds when the pilot, Fred Gregory, will clear the caution and warning memory system. T-minus 3 minutes and counting.
Over.
Let's go for ET LO2 pressurization.
We are go for liquid oxygen pressurization of the external tank. T-minus 2 minutes 45 seconds. T-minus 2 minutes 30 seconds and counting. Pilot Gregory now being told to clear the caution memory system. It is clearing as repeat, and no unexpected errors reported. T-minus 2 minutes 15 seconds and counting. Liquid oxygen tank should now be approaching flight pressure. T-minus 2 minutes and counting.
Let's go for ET LH2 pressurization.
Beanie cap has been removed from the external tank top and is now being cleared back on its umbilical arm. That arm will be clear in time for launch. T-minus 1 minute 45 seconds and counting. Liquid oxygen tank is pressurized. Liquid hydrogen tank now pressurizing.
T-minus 1 minute 30 seconds.
T-minus 90 seconds. Mark. Liquid hydrogen tank is pressurized and the range is ready. T-minus 1 minute, 10 seconds and counting. Next major milestone occurs at T-minus 31 seconds with a go for auto sequence start. Mark T-minus 1 minute, 60 seconds and counting to the launch of Challenger in Space Lab 3.
T-minus 45 seconds.
T-minus 45 seconds, mark. Standing by now for the T-31 second auto sequence start. T-minus 35 seconds. T-minus 30 seconds and counting. We're now in auto sequence start. Challenger 4 computers now controlling the critical vehicle functions from now through liftoff. T-minus 20 seconds and counting. T-minus 18 seconds and the SR. T-minus 15, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Both the main engine start. 6. Main engine start. All 3 engines up and running. 3, 2, 1, 0. SR2 is mission and Challenger in Space Lab 3 is airborne and has cleared the power.
Roger, roll, Challenger. SRB separation. Velocity 4,800 feet per second, altitude 21 nautical miles. PG less than 50, Houston. SRB staging now complete. 4 minutes, 31 seconds. Guidance converging is programmed. Velocity 5,200 feet per second. Nominal first stage performance.
First stage performance, nominal.
Roger, good work.
Altitude 32 nautical miles. Downrange distance 40 nautical miles. Two minutes 40 seconds. Coming up on 2-engine transatlantic capability to Morone. 2 minutes 50 seconds, 5,800 feet per second velocity, altitude 39 nautical miles.
Challenger Houston, 2-engine TAL capability.
Roger, 2-engine TAL, Houston.
That call up from Capcom Dick Richards, Challenger capable of reaching a transatlantic aboard at either the Morone or Zaragoza, Spain contingency sites. Status check and mission control, all positions giving flight director a go. Velocity 6,600 feet per second, altitude 47 nautical miles, downrange distance 86 nautical miles, 3 engines at 104%.
3 minutes 50 seconds, coming up on the negative return call, at which point the Challenger will have proceeded too far to return to the launch site in the event of an abort. Velocity 7,700 feet per second. Altitude 53 nautical miles. Downrange distance 123 nautical miles. Standing.
Houston, negative return.
Roger, negative return.
Challenger now crossing the coastline over the Los Angeles area, approaching Edwards. Houston, take care, data.
Take care, data. Welcome.
Range now 70 nautical miles to touchdown. Velocity 2,800 feet per second. Altitude about 84,000 feet. Challenger descending about 265 feet per second. Range now 64 nautical miles. Velocity now 1,800 feet per second, altitude 71,000 feet, the range 44.9 nautical miles. Velocity now 1,400 feet per second, altitude 64,000 feet, the range 36.3 nautical miles. Descending at a rate now of 270 feet per second, velocity 1,300 feet per second, altitude 60,000 feet. Challenger shortly will intersect the heading alignment circle, executing a 190-degree left overhead turn onto runway 17 on the wake bed. Range 30 nautical miles. Challenger now subsonic. Altitude 47,000 feet. Range 25 nautical miles.
We got a very loud buffet take.
We copy. Touchdown now 3 minutes, 38 seconds away. Range 20 nautical miles. Velocity 880 feet per second. The altitude 37,000 feet. Descending at a rate of 221 feet per second. Challenger Houston, transfer state vector to backup.
We got you.
Challenger now on the heading alignment circle, executing a left overhead turn. Like the navics officer reports, the ship looks good turning on the hack. Velocity now 660 feet per second, the altitude 20,000 feet. Descending at a range at a rate of 230 feet per second. The range now 11 nautical miles. 5 seconds. Range now 9 nautical miles. Challenger now approaching final, 6.6 nautical miles to touchdown.
On glide slope on center line. Surface winds 210 at 5.
Roger, we can go. Surface winds 5 knots out of 210 degrees. Velocity of the orbiter 550 feet per second. Our altitude now 7,700 feet. Descending at a rate of 170 feet per second. Range now 4.5 nautical miles. Touchdown in 56 seconds. Velocity 500 feet per second. Equivalent airspeed about 287 knots. .2 nautical miles. Gear down. Three gears down and locked. Touchdown. Nose gear now coming down. Touchdown on main gear. Overmeyer executing light braking at the moment as Challenger rolls out on runway 17. Wheel stop. Wheel stop. Challenger's a good ship.
Challenger, Houston, welcome back. Nice job, Bob, and welcome home, Space Lab. Stand by for post-landing deltas.
India, copy, Challenger.
For Houston, you're loud and clear, and we have no post-landing deltas for you. How do you copy?
Final clear, Dick. Control Houston, landing convoy now moving out to greet Challenger. Unofficial times in mission elapsed time, touchdown at 7 days, 0 hours, 8 minutes, 47 seconds. On nose gear at 7 days, 0 hours, 9 minutes even. Wheel stop at 7 days, 0 hours, 9 minutes, 45 seconds.
Ride convoy control. The Space Shuttle Recovery Convoy, the initial elements are now proceeding to the Challenger. Recovery convoy's purpose is to make sure that the orbiter is properly safed on landing, that there are no leaks of toxic or explosive vapors, and assist the flight crew in egressing the orbiter. They also carry out the task of powering down the orbiter.
would like to get the S-band peak antenna switch on panel C3 to upper right forward.
Upper right forward. Upper right forward. Okay, we're ready to try the ops transition if you want us to there, Houston. You guys are always finding switches.
The landing convoy crew has arrived at the orbiter. These gentlemen are now checking out the RCS system for leaks with their equipment.
Challenger, Houston.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
On panel L1, we'd like water pump loop 1 to on and ammonia Bravo to pry GPC.
Pry GPC. Bravo on. APU shutdown has been completed. A brief test was made of the APU hydraulic system.
We thought so. We just wanted to verify that. Stand by. Challenger, Houston, the recommendation is to do an item 5 as per the end of the SSME repositioning procedure, and then reattempt the vent door perch positioning procedure.
Roger. The safety assessment team is checking the aft portion of the orbiter out still. They'll, from that position, they're able to determine the condition of the vapors and any possible toxics that could have wafted into the payload bay area.
And you can confirm that we are go for an extended power up, and we'll go ahead and keep off 9 up, take GPCs 2, 3, and 4 down.
Technicians are now proceeding to the cooling quick disconnect area, attaching carrier plates so the cooling unit, a huge refrigeration unit, which in the convoy now trails the orbiter Challenger. These connections are being readied. The cooling unit provides freon cooling to the interior of the orbiter.
Confirm you are
protect critical electronic components.
System deact for extended power up.
Okay, that's what we're going to do. We're going to start at the top of 514 and drop some GPCs.
We copy, engine crew.
Right aft side of the orbiter, one can see the purge unit, the lines leading to the connections on the aft quick disconnect side of the orbiter, T-0 side connectors on the orbiter. This provides cooled, air-conditioned air to orbiter cavities.
Challenger's crew. Now departing from the orbiter.
And that's it. Thank you.
Commander Bob Overmeyer, followed by Pilot Fred Gregory, Mission Specialist Norm Thaggart, Payload Specialist Ludwig Vandenberg, Taylor Wang, Mission Specialist Don Lind, and